The doctors sat us down, announced to me, so who in the family has polycystic kidney disease? I didn't know what PKD was. I've had to alter my way of living, eliminating stress. I've stopped working. The financial burden has been on my husband. With the progression of polycystic kidney disease, tying my shoes is a challenge sometimes because there's always something between me and my shoes. My midsection is gaining in size. Most of the times I slouch. Since we found out I have PKD, my husband has been my rock. He knows when to make me laugh. He knows when I'm not feeling well. He's my cheerleader.
Hi, I'm Luisa Miniaci-Di Leo, and I'm the next guest on Rob's Inner Circle. Don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are, and we'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Robert DeLesser, and I'm the host of Rob's Inner Circle, broadcasting live to all of our Jewish friends tuning in. El Shana Tova for Rosh Hashanah. Happy New Year. And to all of you out there, a happy Labor Monday. A happy Labor Day, Monday, actually. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We have an exciting show tonight. We have a very interesting guest, so you can't miss the show. You got to stick around. We want to give our usual shout out to the producer of Rob's Inner Circle, the amazing Jenny Duhame. And the podcast techie on our show tonight, as usual, Patty, Lady, Starlight, Saragossa. We have a couple of shout outs, honorable mentions going out tonight to the film world. We want to give a mention to Patricia Chica and Teresa Picciano. Congratulations to both of you for all of the numerous nominations and awards you have been racking up for your movies. We here at Rob's Inner Circle are extremely proud of you. Wish you the best of luck and keep up the good work, ladies. Also, we don't want to forget two amazing filmmakers in Canada by the names of film director Jim Donovan and also Byron A. Martin. To both of you, congratulations for all of the amazing work that you've done over the years, and we urge you to keep up doing that amazing work you're doing. And last but not least of our honorable mentions tonight is a friend south of the border. He's an actor, he's a director, a writer. He's also a producer. None other than the lovable Sal Ranella. Good evening to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And we also want to urge you guys to go on to the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel. Click onto all of our playlists. Go check out our productions. You want to give us some likes, shares, comments, subscribe to Bobby Short Shorts. And of course, you want to hit that notification bell because every time we have a new production, you will be notified first. Yeah. You can get all of our merchandise pertaining to Rob's Inner Circle on the 514brandingco.com. That's 514brandingco.com. And that is thanks to our collaborative effort that we have going with our good friend, Vinny the Hat Gargano. Well, guys, it's that time once again. It's time to slip into our weekly ritual. You want to sit back, kick up your feet, relax, take a deep breath, let out the bad air, relax, and let us carry the load. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's showtime. Let's get it on. We have our guest standing by. She's backstage and she can't wait to come on. She's an absolutely amazing lady. She's an advocate for an amazing cause. She's done so much for the cause, and she's the advocate here in Montreal for the chapter, actually the face of Quebec for the PKD Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the amazing Luisa Miniaci-Di Leo.
Hi, Robert.
Luisa, what a pure honor it is to have you on our show.
Well, I thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Really appreciate it.
So, Luisa, you're the coordinator of the Montreal Chapter for the Polycystic Kidney Disease Foundation. So, tell us a little bit about what you do there, what your duties are.
Okay, so like you said, I'm the coordinator for the Montreal chapter, the PKD Foundation. I'm a volunteer, just like all the other chapter volunteers across Canada. Basically, what I do is I raise awareness and I create some fundraisers to raise funds for research for polycystic kidney disease. I started the chapter in 2014, and yeah, it's been going on now since, like I said, 2014.
So, Luisa, tell us what exactly is polycystic kidney disease, also known as PKD.
Okay, so polycystic, from the Greek word poly means multiple. So polycystic just, the word itself tells you that there's a multitude of cysts that form and multiply on each kidney. And the disease is not limited just to the kidney. It also affects the liver, the pancreas, the gallbladder. So what happens if you make a fist? That's supposed to be the size of your kidneys. So two fists, two kidneys, right? But with PKD, each kidney can become the size of a football. So these cysts that grow and multiply, they invade the kidneys and strangle the function. So it brings kidney failure. You start having kidney failure sometimes in your 40s, sometimes in your 50s. I know a few people that already at 42 they had a transplant.
Wow. And how long is that you've been involved with the cause?
So I got involved in 2014. Actually, my dad passed away in 2013. And just before his passing, he was at the Lakeshore Hospital and he wasn't doing well. And, I was there most of my days. And, I kept on looking, the medication they're giving him, is it going to be okay for his PKD? But I guess I was so naive that, I didn't think that they were going to give him, the right medication, or I thought that perhaps PKD wasn't going to take him, but PKD did take him. And then a few months later, in March 2014, I met with the executive director of the foundation, Jeff Robertson, and he came all the way to Montreal, and I signed up to be the Montreal coordinator. I said to Dad that I wanted to do something because not only I have it, but also my son has it, because this disease, unfortunately, is genetic and hereditary. So I told Dad I was going to do something, and the Italian dad's parents, what are you doing? You're not well. Take care of yourself. Take it easy. Don't break your head. But he knows I'm stubborn. He knew I was stubborn.
Wow. And you've been doing so much for the cause. Actually, you've been noticed a lot because you've been working so hard. And unless I miss my guess, I see from far away, that looks like some kind of an award back there. Were you recognized for something recently?
Want to see them?
Sure. Yeah. Bring them on. Bring them on.
I don't usually flaunt these, but so my former member of parliament, Frank Baylis, before leaving, oh, I don't know if you guys catch this, the angle. Yeah,
You can see
Frank.
somewhat.
Yeah, Frank Baylis, just before leaving, gave me this award, and I was totally surprised, unexpected. I didn't expect to get anything because I was doing it, like I said, because I promised my dad. And, you know, my son and I, we're not the only ones that are living with this. So, yeah, he gave me this for, you know, my involvement in the community. And then I got this from
Wow.
a community group called CPACT, Canada, Pakistan, affiliated Chamber of Trade. And this was again, another surprise. And, I raise awareness in different parts of the island of Montreal and in Quebec. I've raised awareness in a cafe in Laval. I went to a women's group in Candiac. I do it because I know there's many out there. When you go to these appointments and you're in the waiting room, and then your doctor says, you're my 13th one today.
Oh, wow.
And that's at 2:00 in the afternoon.
So they actually hold a PKD Patients Day at the clinic you attend.
Well, what happens is most of the hospitals under the MUHC, like St. Mary's Jewish General, Lakeshore General, Royal Victoria, and the Montreal General, as well as the CHUM Hospital, as well as Sacré-Cœur Hospital, and Hôpital Maisonneuve-Rosemont, they have a PKD clinic within their nephrology department. So during those clinic days, that's when they see most of the PKD patients. So, my husband and I, we were in the waiting room, and we go in to see the doctor, and he says, you're my 13th one today. You're lucky 13. It's something to hear that, there were another 12 before me, and this is like at 2:00, and I don't know how many more he's going to be seeing till the end of the day. So there's a need to raise awareness in Quebec, and it needs to get done.
And at which point and how is it that you discovered that you had PKD?
Well, so I didn't know I had PKD until I had my second child. What happened is I had the difficulty having children. So my second child was actually my 6th pregnancy. And so my gynecologist, obstetrician, says to me, he goes, okay, you had your second child, so that's it, no more. You can't risk it. And once you come back, we're going to chat about trying to figure out what happened. So I told her then and there, I said, look, I'm sick and tired of doing tests, poking every time for blood and all that. So because during the pregnancy with my second child, obviously I couldn't do any x-rays or MRIs or CT scans, I knew that she wanted to do these. And I said, I was tired. I was fed up. I had my 2 children. I was blessed with 2 children, and I was fed up, but she insisted. And I'll never forget this. She says, if you don't want to know, I need to know. And thanks to her, we did a series of tests. Even my husband did tests, bloods, x-rays, the whole 9 yards. And that's when they told me afterwards.
Does PKD progress, the illness, does it progress during one's lifetime?
Of course. So like I said, each kidney is the size of a fist, right? So from 2 fists you end up having 2 footballs. And where it affects also the liver or the pancreas. So can you imagine, you've got these, I don't want to say they all become the size of footballs, but you got 2 big organs, and then of course if it affects your liver, then you have another big organ there. So can you imagine how everything is squished inside? And so everybody's fighting for space, or everybody's the real estate inside is shifting.
Okay. Just before we came on the air, you told me that your kidneys were once functioning at 35%, but after you had COVID, since then they are now functioning at 21%. So how is it that the nephrologists are able to measure the functionality of these organs?
So like I explained, because I was one of those high risks patients, I ended up contracting COVID, and before COVID my kidney function was 35. And so this past June, I had my visit with my nephrologist, who's at the Lakeshore Hospital. By the way, he's one of the 3 top Quebec nephrologists, Dr. Lorcher. And he did, bloods. He had done bloods and so on and so forth. And he told me I'm teetering at 21%.
Oh, wow.
So did a secondary blood test, and it was at 25. And so I'm averaging between 21 and 25%, and that's thanks to COVID.
Is there a special treatment required to help you go on with your daily routine?
The only treatment is water. I drink, I'm at the point where I drink 3 liters of water a day. And there's a medication out there that is used to slow down the growth of the cysts, therefore delaying dialysis and the transplant. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those eligible ones because my liver is totally covered in cysts. And so this medication slows down, or should I say delays the onset of dialysis, possibly by 5 years. I don't know exactly what the stats are, but it might delay dialysis. But the bottom line is the disease causes kidney failure, and you might need a kidney and a liver transplant. So because when the liver gets huge and you start losing liver function, then the doctors talk to you about a transplant.
Okay, and in the event that you get a transplant, an organ transplant, be it being the liver or a kidney, once you get the transplant, is there a danger that the disease might come back and attack these new organs as well?
No, if you get a transplant, then the new organ will not get the PKD. PKD is genetic, so it's part of your makeup. If you get the organ from another person who doesn't have PKD and who is a match, because you have to be the right blood type to match to give an organ to a patient. So the new organ does not. And to have a transplant, so let's say you are facing a double transplant, like a kidney and a liver transplant. So if your kidney fails first, okay, they will do a kidney transplant. But they might not necessarily remove your 2 existing kidneys. So you will have a three-way inside you. But if your liver fails first, okay, if your liver fails first, then the liver, because it's considered more important, because we only have one liver. The kidneys, we have two, even though when they do kidney function, it's the function of both kidneys combined. So if your liver fails, then they do liver and the kidney transplant, because the liver calls upon the lesser organ. I don't know how to explain it any other way, but yeah, that's what happens. And they say that it's best to get from a live donor. If you have to get a kidney, it's best to get it from a live donor.
Ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in to Rob's Inner Circle. I'm Robert DeLessio, and I'm the host of the show. If you have any questions tonight for our guest, Luisa Miniaci-Di Leo, please feel free to do so. Luisa, I would like to show the second part of the opening video, which was absolutely touching. You actually had me on the verge of tears, Luisa, when I was watching that, because I've known you for a little while, and you're an exceptional lady. You're so strong.
I'm just a mom.
You know, you're a mom, but you're also an advocate, and you believe in what you do. You're an example. You're an inspiration. And I wanted to show the audience the rest of the video that we have that opened up the show. So, folks, after the video, prepare your questions and feel free to ask them to Luisa.
I'm just being myself, and it's hard for them. You have to recognize that they go through emotional roller coasters. The best you can do is just support them. If you dwell on the sickness, it will put you more down. And if you have a positive attitude, then it most probably will help you in the long run.
There isn't a parent on this earth that wants to pass on a disease to their child. My son Christopher found out he has PKD, just like me. He's witnessed my numerous kidney infections, my numerous urinary tract infections. He's witnessed all that, and now I'm sure he is thinking about his future with PKD.
I hope never to have any real bad symptoms, any pain, but the fact that I could get this later on in life and that there is new medication that could help is very hopeful. I'm very enthusiastic about it because I won't feel like it's a never-ending battle. I'll feel like there is help on my side. I have some type of armor, against this disease.
I'm happy that perhaps, when he gets to my age, PKD might no longer exist. I'm hopeful he won't have to go through what I've been going through.
Wow, that's a touching video.
I'm just trying to give him that armor. Well,
through the video, we've learned that your son has it as well, and you said like it's a hereditary disease and you were telling me off air that it does not skip a generation. So there's always someone who's going to be affected by this. The fact that your son has a disease as well, how okay, I want to put this in the right way. I want to phrase this question in the right way. How challenging is it that the mom and the dad both have the disease, and obviously a husband? It does put a bit of a strain. It's very demanding, and God bless his heart for being there for both of you. Such a great man. I've met him a couple of times. So how demanding is that? How hard is it? How challenging is it?
Well, he has to deal with, his wife, companion, and he has to deal with what she's going through, and he's trying to be the cheerleader that he always is. But it gets to him too sometimes. He's trying to be there for his son. We're both trying to be there for my son, just like any parent who passes this on to their kids. No matter what anybody says, You know, you shouldn't feel bad. You didn't choose to pass this on to this disease. But when you're living it, you can't help but think, oh my God, what have I passed on to my kids? Like the day that they sat me in the doctor's office and I said, when they told me this, they told me, you got this from one of your parents. You need to find out which one has it. And I said, what does I was in information overload. And at first I said, no, my parents don't have anything. They're okay, they're fine. But then when they tell me, no, you got it from your parents, because I saw a geneticist after all these tests. My fear, what I said is, oh my God, what have I passed on to my kids? Like, that's the first thing that hit me. What have I passed on to my kids?
Well, I can understand what you're saying and all that, but like you said, it's nothing that was done like you did it yourself intentionally. It just happened by nature and all that.
It's when you have a conversation, when you have a family powwow, okay, you have a family powwow and you think, okay, so when mom's kidneys fail, dad's going to give me one of his kidneys, and so my older son doesn't have PKD, and so the conversation is make sure you stay healthy, because if your brother needs a kidney, you should help him out, right? These are conversations that I don't wish upon anybody, but we carry on. We do, we are positive. Sometimes I have my moments where, like, forget it, don't talk to me. But we have to be positive, because the reason why I'm helping to raise awareness and helping to raise funds is so that my son has a better future. I have to think that I'm helping and that we're all helping for a better future.
Are there any biomarkers in the blood or in our daily routine, or
No, in the blood you can't tell. In the bloods you can't tell. When you go for bloods, they might tell you that you're anemic, which is the case for me. They might tell you that you have high blood pressure. They might tell you when you do the urine. They might also tell you that you have blood in the urine. These are all symptoms of PKD, and you have to put the picture together as a doctor. Okay, she's got this, she's got this, she's got this. Okay, why don't we check what could be causing all this, or why don't we check what's causing this for my patient? I mean, it doesn't affect only women, it affects men, women, and children. There's two forms of PKD. There's the ARPKD, which affects 1 in 20,000 children, and the doctors can tell while the baby is in utero. In the mother's womb, you can tell whether the baby has cysts on the kidney. In fact, I shared on Facebook, and you probably saw it, the story of mom and dad who only held their little baby girl for a few hours because she was born with huge kidneys that were preventing the development of her lungs and liver. So that's one form, but that is a more rarer form, which affects 1 in 20,000. And look, on Facebook, you saw the testimonial of a mom in Verdun, and she has a 20-month-old girl, and this baby is already on blood pressure medications at 20 months. Why? Because when you bring down the blood pressure, it helps the kidneys, because the heart and the kidneys are connected.
Wow. Can you imagine at that young age already, eh?
That's right. I have the dominant form, which is the one that's more common. I have the ADPKD, which affects 1 in 500 to 1 in 1,000 worldwide.
Okay. So you hold annual walks.
Yep.
Is there going to be an annual walk this year?
Well, because of the pandemic situation, you have to understand that the foundation's head office is in Ontario. So our executive director comes to Montreal, Ottawa, Hamilton, Toronto, where else? I forgot where else they. I don't know if he goes to Edmonton. I'm not sure. So because of the pandemic, I mean, we don't want to put anybody at risk, right? And so it's a virtual event, but I know that a lot of patients are coming over here to the house, to our place, and we're going to be walking together. We're going to each be in our little family bubble, okay? We're each going to be in our family bubble, but we will be in solidarity, walking together against PKD, to fight a cure for PKD.
What is the goal by holding the walk?
Well, the goal of holding the walk is obviously to raise funds for research, right? And raise awareness. When we have our annual walk, and we have the walk in DDO. I live in Dollard des Ormeaux, and when we have the walk, I mean, it's amazing when you have about 300 or 325 people walking along the streets here in DDO. Everybody's honking their horn, or the people that are on bicycles. So what's the PKD? What is that? So, whoever sees us says, oh, what the heck is that for? Oh, what's going on? We're raising awareness, and we're raising funds for research, and the money stays in Canada. It doesn't go outside of Canada. So that's another reason why I decided to, become part of the foundation. Besides the fact that I told my dad I was going to do something for his grandson, which carries his name. This money stays in Canada. I also have a cousin. I have a cousin on my father's side who has PKD, and 2 of her 4 children have PKD. The other 2 are in the process of getting tested. So her youngest one is now 13. I'm sorry, Eva, if you're watching. I don't remember. Her youngest one is 13. And she found out 2 years ago that she has PKD. She found out while doing an X-ray for something else.
Imagine, getting that as a pleasant surprise. You're going for one thing, and you come back. Well, by the way, you got this as well.
Yeah. Well, to me, they were trying to figure out why I had so many miscarriages, and that's when they said, hey, wait a minute, you got this.
So how can the general public help? How can they support you, like donations or in whichever way? How could they do this?
Well, I've created a fundraising page, and you can look it up by going to endpkd.ca. And where it talks about the walk, you can click that and then look for the fundraisers. I'm one of them, under Luisa's Warriors, sorry. Or you just look up my name, or people can just go to endpkd.ca and just donate. Like every registered charitable organization, anything that is any amount donated over $20, you get a tax receipt.
All right. So, Luisa, we have a few pictures over here. Maybe we can take a quick look at them, and we can discuss what was going on in the picture at the time.
Okay. Well, this is with the mayor of Dollard-des-Ormeaux. He has been a force in convincing most of the West Island mayors to recognize PKD Awareness Day, which just was this weekend, September 4th. So it's already his fourth year that he recognizes September 4th as PKD Awareness Day, drew up a proclamation or resolution, as they call it. Here I was with Terry DeMonte. I was on Terry's show. I was afraid to go to approach him, but the sweetest guy, and and I just loved his good morning and at the main. I reached out to him, and he had me on to talk about PKD.
Okay, we're going to be elaborating on Terry and Heather when you appear on their show in the morning. We're just going to go through a couple of more pictures over here, Luisa.
Sure. This is Kathy Giannini. She's my hairstylist for the last 30 years. She has a hair salon, and she has a box in her salon. Whenever it comes time to the walk, people drop in some money, whether it be toonies, loonies, whatever, and then she brings this money to the walk every year. In the picture there, you have mayors, some of the West Island mayors that have recognized PKD Awareness Day. You have the mayor of Ville Saint Laurent, the mayor of Pointe Claire, the mayor of Pierrefonds Dollard, and then you have the city councilor in the front, Francesco Miele, who's a city councilor of Saint Laurent. Pulkit with the red sweater at the end, and at the other fellow, Laurence Parent. They're both city councilors in Didio. The mayor's in the middle there, and behind them with the beard is Carlos Leitao, who's the representative, Quebec representative. And back is Jimmy Chan. I mean, this guy called me. He says, "Luisa, I know you're having your walk. Can I come and do something? And I said, yes. Like the support I've received from people is unbelievable. And in the front with the NPKD T-shirt, that's Jeff Robertson, our executive director.
Okay, we have another interesting picture over here. Look at all those people.
Yeah. That was 3 years. That was 3 years ago. We were 325. And it was, like you see in some commercials, that traffic stops to watch a girl go by, Well, when I started that walk there, they stopped traffic on Salaberry Boulevard so that we could start our walk, But,
wow.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at one last picture over here before we go on to Terry DeMonte and Heather Bachmann.
So this picture here, that was the 2019 walk to NPKD. The lady that you see, the far left of the picture, she came all the way from New Brunswick. She's there with her son because in New Brunswick, they don't have a chapter. She came to Quebec because Quebec is the closest place. She came to the walk, and the rest are members of parliament, city councilors, mayors, friends, and patients with their families. And the violinist in the front, I call her my veteran performer. She supported me since the very beginning, since my first fundraising event. But those are mostly patients and their families that are walking towards a cure.
And here we go. Here's our Montreal legend, Terry DeMonte, with Heather Bachmann.
Yep.
The beloved Heather Bachmann was a guest in our show not long ago.
Mm-hmm, I watched it.
And you were there, yes, I remember.
It's amazing.
So you went on the Terry DeMonte show, and tell us all about how this happened, because you said that you used to listen in on Terry DeMonte in the morning, and you thought he was absolutely fantastic. Then you told yourself, I'll reach out to him, but it's a rock station. So you were kind of wondering, how is this going to happen? And somehow it happened. So tell us all about it.
Well, like I said, it's a rock radio station. What do they want to know? First thing in the morning about polycystic kidney disease and a fundraiser. But then, I always had my grandfather's words. That if you don't try, you ain't gonna get anywhere, right? So, yeah, I tried. I reached out to him, and you know, he's always been that person, like, you know him, it's like you know him and he knows you. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna try. What can happen? He's gonna say, no, I don't have time. And you know what? He had me on the air. I think it's the last couple of years, every year when we have an event. Yeah, it's the last 4 years. Every year we have an event. Either if I don't go to the radio station, we do the interview via phone. And a few times I was talking in my car while he was interviewing me about our Music Heals benefit concert, about our walk to end PKD, and also about the PKD Awareness Day. So he's been instrumental, because the first time I went on the air with him, my husband in the afternoon went to the cleaners to pick up the pants. He says, this morning I heard Terry. Was your wife on the air? I don't think your wife was on the air, but by any chance, was it your wife? Because he doesn't know my maiden name, right? So, yeah, that was my wife. My wife. Oh wow, I didn't know she had this. So, see, Terry helped me get through the airwaves.
And we have some fantastic news. I mean, it's all over the place. But for those of you who don't know yet, Terry and Ted are teamed up once again. They now have a podcast, and it's called Standing By. And you can watch the first episode. It's going to be airing Wednesday, September 8th. So that's fantastic news for all of the people out there who are big Terry and Ted fans. So, Teresa, tell us, not only did you reach out to Sean, but you also reached out to other forms of media, whether it be digital, television, other radio stations. Tell us where you've been.
So the first, being of Italian descent, I approached CFMB, the Italian radio, ethnic radio. And so I approached CFMB, and the first person to interview me was Silvio Orvieto. And it was a very nice man. My God, the moment I finished the program, I stood in my car. I sat in my car for 20 minutes because I gave out my phone number. So for 20 minutes, I had people calling me and asking me, in Italian, what is PKD? What is this? So I was telling them this information. And later I was on CFMB with Teresa Romano and Marco Luciani Castiglia. And I talked to them about PKD. And that's when I approached Teresa and Marco. I kind of put them on the spot, asking them if they wanted to host our benefit concert, the Music Heals benefit concert at Rialto. And they were so sweet, and they both accepted. And so fortunate. I'm surrounded by wonderful people that have helped me, that have supported me, and have helped me spread the word on polycystic kidney disease. I've been also on the Portuguese radio, Clementina Santos. I've been on the Greek radio with George Talidis. So, yeah, we've been spreading the word.
As it stands right now, at the moment we're talking, there is no cure for PKD. However, how much has science progressed? How close are we to finding a cure?
Well, the same question you can ask the cancer researchers. Have they found a cure for cancer? This is a long affair, basically. They figured out which chromosome it is. They figured out the chromosome. They're doing, so there's a geneticist that's here in Montreal. I visited her lab many, many times, and her lab has a lot of mice, where they test them, with things. Then I visited somebody else's lab, and she does research on fruit flies.
Oh.
Itty bitty fruit flies. And she has over 100,000 fruit flies in her lab, basically. And they're all in little containers. All these, when you go take blood, those vials they're all in these vials, nice and neat. So they are working. They are researching. They've at one point there was talk about using the same medication that is used for diabetes. Some people call it metformin, but some people call it their regular scientific name, which I don't know. They were thinking of maybe using that to slow down the growth of the cysts. But trials didn't turn out positive. So, but there is constant research going on. I just saw the message from Laura Mara. She's my cousin. She's the one that has the 2 kids that have PKD.
Oh.
So, sorry, I read her message. I just, she's like the sister I never had.
I can relate very well to kidney ailments. I want to share a story with you and the audience, myself, Luisa. And well, you've already heard the story, but there's a lot of people out there who haven't heard it. And I have no qualms in sharing my own experience with a kidney problem. Back in 2014, I was diagnosed with a kidney cancer. And that was a huge scare I got in my life. I'm telling you, the moment the doctor looked at me and said, you got kidney cancer, buddy. I go, what? And then he starts going on and on saying, we're going to test you. You have to go through the ultrasound. They're going to do some MRIs. And when we open you up, basically, you never know what we can find, because what we see on the MRI is not necessarily what's really going on in your body. So anyways, that was an awakening for me. So since 2014, I changed my outlook on life. And this, is a message out there for all of you who are experiencing an ailment and all that. It just goes on to show and to say to everybody that life is very precious and it's hanging onto a thread, and we take it for granted sometimes.
Yes, we need to remember that, you're here today and you can be gone tomorrow. So, Rob, just like you talking about this, you're probably encouraging somebody to pay attention to their health, because, you feel a little something. Oh, I'll take a Tylenol. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. But, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to listen. We need to listen to our body. In 2006, just to give you an example, 2006, I'm in my backyard. I'm talking to my neighbor next door. And I go inside. My hands were dirty. I was thirsty. Come to get water. I get this sharp pain. One of those darn cysts ruptured.
Oh.
And so, how do I describe this? It's like when you put a knife in you and it's a dull knife and you turn it. So I thought, my God, my right side must be appendicitis. And my son goes and called my next door neighbor, who happens to be my gynecologist. My son goes and called her, and she was freaking out. I was in pain. I was screaming. And hey, that was a cyst that ruptured. You see, those suckers can.
And what was the outcome of that? Did it cause any drawbacks, or what would you say, side effects? What's the right word for that?
Well, what happened, I'm just like so many other PKD patients, right? When these cysts rupture, that sometimes they can't do anything, but sometimes they put you on a course of antibiotics. In my case, that cyst ruptured was a prelude to a bunch of other cysts that were giving me problems. So they had to drain 7 cysts from my liver. And for example, in 2 cysts, there was like 2.5 liters of fluid. Because what happens is the cysts contain fluid. It's not a bad fluid, but it's a clear fluid, and they were causing me problems. So they had to do that, and a lot of patients face that problem.
On a happier note, there's a common friend that we share. You met him a while back. You had some doubts about him. He went through a KGB style questionnaire when you wanted to have him on. Tell us about your relationship, the special bond you have with our friend Charles V. Rocks Vaccaro.
KGB style questioning. That's what he said to me. Okay, so I saw him perform at an event. So there was an Italian fundraising event, and somebody who had performed at a previous Music Heals showed me a Tupperware. And she was performing at this show at Leonardo da Vinci. And she says, I'm performing, I'll have your Tupperware. You coming to the show? I says, yeah. So anyway, I text her. I says, I'm here, right? I'm here. And the next thing you know, Nonna Maria there, right? Well, Nonna Maria announces, whoa, I hear that there's Luisa Miniaci in the hall. I just walked in and I was like, what? And so, and then one of during that show, Charles Vaccaro had written a song for Angelique Falbo, and Angelique Falbo sang one of his songs, and it was a beautiful song. And I saw Charles at another benefit concert, so I reached out to him. It was again one of those things. He's either going to say yes or he's either going to say no. Because we're a nonprofit organization. Like I said, I'm a volunteer, just like the other volunteers across Canada. I don't have a budget, so I was talking to him about doing a benefit concert called Music Heals. Why Music Heals? Because music, when I put the music full blast when I'm in pain, it just numbs the pain. It takes me away to a better place. So I met with him, and. So I knew he was part of the band Lipstick. And so my first question to him was, did you do drugs? And he looks at me. He goes, nobody has ever asked me that question. I said, yeah, right. Nobody's asked you that question. So I told him, I says, I want to do this. I'm with a nonprofit foundation. I said, I don't want to get the foundation's name dirty. So I need to know. You better tell me now. You better come clear now. And then when we got together, I invited a bunch of performers at my house for coffee. We talked about this benefit concert. And look, Charles, like I said to Charles, I said, it would be nice if we had a house band. And I said, but, I don't have money to pay and so on and so forth. And he says, well, I'll reach out to some of my friends. And you know what? He brought on some amazing musicians, and we're still friends on Facebook, and we sometimes chat. Hey, how's it going? I can't thank him enough for that. That's when it started with all those other musicians and artists in Montreal, especially those coming from the Italian community. Yeah.
So you're involved in many events, and we've lost count. Oh. So of all these events that you're involved in, which ones are the ones that you need help the most? In which of the events you need help the most?
Well, look, the walk is coming up in September. The walk to PKD is coming up in September. And look, I'm not trying to take anything away from the pandemic, because Lord knows I went through COVID, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy. but I'm asking for help. I'm asking people to go online to visit endpkd.ca, or you can call me. Look, 514-501-9924. You can check me out on Facebook. I've bombarded people this weekend because it was PKD Awareness Day. And, you know, Quebec has 10 mayors that officially recognize September 4th as PKD Awareness Day. But we're just asking for people, you know, whatever they can donate, because I know times are tough. And if they could help us out, any little bit helps to bring us closer to a cure.
You told me that there are mayors from 40 cities, or actually 40 cities that are involved. And we'll take a quick look at the pictures of the people involved. So
yeah, so here in this picture, you have the mayor of Beaconsfield and the mayor of Brossard, which I met her on Friday. A wonderful woman.
Okay.
So in this picture, you have Alex Botaushi. I call him my mayor of Dollard des Ormeaux, where we have the events. Then there's the mayor at the bottom, the mayor of Kirkland, Michelle Gibson, a wonderful man as well. Then there's the mayor of Ile Bizarre, Normand Marinacci, and there's the mayor of Pierrefonds Dollard that I met with him on Friday, along with all his city council. And then there's the mayor of Pointe Claire, John Belvedere. Then there's the So then there's also Alan D'Souza, who's the mayor of Ville Saint Laurent, and the mayor of Saint Leonard. Alan D'Souza came with me on breakfast television. Actually, we were on breakfast television together for the last show with Derek Fage, because Derek Fage always had me on the air at breakfast television to talk about PKD and PKD Awareness Day. So, yeah.
There's actually a video of that available. We wanted to show it tonight. However, we've run out of time. We only have a few moments left, Luisa. This went by so fast. We got one last picture of the mayors over here. Maybe we can go through this quickly, and we have a couple of closing questions for the show.
There's also Juliana Fumagalli from Villeray Saint Michel Park Extension, who recognized PKD Awareness Day.
So, of course, you know, like all of these other causes, there's always a support group. For PKD, are there support groups, moral support groups available for people who are, hit by this? Yes,
they can get. Look, we've had all kinds of doctors give presentations, and one of the doctors that was a psychologist, and she, talks about, the burden on the patient, and not just the patient, on the family. We've had also nutritionists give presentations. Besides the nephrologist, which are kidney specialists, we've also had a GI specialist, gastrointestinal specialist, because, when everything is squished inside, not every, your food doesn't get digested properly. So they can call, whoever wants, they can reach out to me. I currently have a group of messenger patients. I think we're close to 30 or 35. That were some in Verdun, some in the South Shore, one in Shadowgate. I mean, 4 from Laval. We've also approached the mayor of Laval to, help us recognize PKD Awareness Day. We'll see what happens, when they meet in council. But if anybody needs help, like I said, you can call me without a problem, and I can put you in contact, or I can give you some names of people that you can reach out to. But, the hospital systems, they have a good system to support the patient, no matter which hospital.
And how about anybody who wants to offer his or her services as a volunteer for the many events you're holding? They go through the same number, right?
Yes, just call me at the same number. Like you said, my kidney function is not the same that it used to be. And I try to do as much as possible behind this desk. This, this room over here became my office. But, I need help. And if anybody wants to help out when we have our events, please give me a call. And look, if you want to come and help and participate in the walk Sunday, September 26th at 11 a.m., I'm inviting anybody who wants to come to my house. Send me a text message or on Messenger, Facebook, send me a note. And you're welcome to come over. We'll walk together, but in, family bubbles. And that would be wonderful, in solidarity.
So our request is here in Rob's Inner Circle to share this podcast as far out as you can. We want to help the cause. We want to help Luisa voice her passion for such a cause, which is it's a beautiful thing you're doing, Luisa. Congratulations, and thank you so much for being out there and being such a huge part of the community.
Well, I thank you for helping me out. What you're doing is just helping me raise awareness too, because some people don't even know that this is. Look, I didn't know this existed. My father didn't know this existed. He learned he had PKD after I got diagnosed. So I opened up Pandora's box.
Any words of encouragement before we sign off?
In French, they say "lâche pas la patate." Don't give up. Stay strong and think positive. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel. That's And if you have to do something, make sure you leave your footprint in the sand. That is my. If I can tell anybody something, leave your footprint in the sand.
So the English translation is "lâche pas la patate." Does that mean don't give up on the potato, or don't let go of the potato?
No, don't drop the hot potato, basically.
Unless it's hot, exactly. Luisa, please stand by, stay backstage, because the producer and our techie are going to be joining you and myself for a nice meet and greet. So, Luisa, thank you so much for being on our show, and thank you everybody for tuning in to this delightful show.
Thank you. Thank you again.
See you in a couple of minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was our guest tonight, the coordinator of the Montreal Chapter of the PKD Foundation of Canada, Luisa Miniaci-Di Leo. If you missed most of this podcast, you can watch it all over again on the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel. Just go into the playlist where it says Rob's Inner Circle, and it's going to be the last episode that is aired. We urge you to tune in this upcoming Wednesday at noon, when Noon Hour Out of the Box will be back once again. I'll be hosting that show with the amazing Esther Berzinski. That's going to be a lot of fun. And stay tuned next week here on Rob's Inner Circle, same place, same time, when we're going to be hosting Norm Zimmerman from Steve's Music. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll be seeing you next time. Ciao.